Hi guys, today's video is going to be a comparison of these two liquid lipsticks. I mentioned that I purchased the Chanel, oh man, what is it called? Liquid ink or lip ink, I think it's called. Rouge Allure lip ink, something like that. I mentioned this in my spendy makeup haul, which I will link below if you're interested. And someone asked me to compare it to the Bourjois, because obviously Bourjois owns Chanel. Strange as that is, it is that way around. And they could have some similar properties. Now, I have only heard good things about this Chanel liquid lipstick. This is one of my favourite formulas of liquid lipstick. I was interested to test it out. Since then, I mean, I've obviously tried this many times. Since then, I have tried this one, and no spoilers, but I'm even more excited to compare the two. So, the two colours that I've got, I thought they were kind of similar enough for me to do a slightly different style wear and compare, and I'm going to do half and half. I'm then going to film some more videos, so we'll see what it actually looks like. It could be hilarious, but hopefully they are similar enough that you're not going to be able to tell at first glance, because I want to go about my day. But I thought that was a fairer test than my regular wear and compare, which I do an entire day, and given that I've only got two products to test, it might be feasible. So we're going to give it a go. I'm going to start with the Rouge Edition Velvet from Bourjois, and the colour is Ole Flamingo. As I was applying that, I was like, oh my god, this totally smells like roses, which I've never noticed before in all the other Rouge Edition Velvets that I've tried. And so does the Chanel, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so weird. And then I realised it was this. I was using a Burberry compact, and this blush smells so strongly of roses, it's insane. So that is Ole Flamingo. And then this is the Chanel, what is it called? Rouge Allure ink in Luxuriant. They are actually quite different. This is much more red. I'm gonna come in for a close-up. Please do not judge my facial hair. The first impressions, they're both relatively comfortable. They're not super dry. They don't dry or set when you apply them. They are not like that kind of liquid lipstick. They are definitely more on the slightly more silicone-y based side. And as I press my lips together like this, I can feel that they're not totally set. You could definitely smear either of these. They are not smudge proof, which will appeal to some and will not appeal to other people. I personally, I kind of like some kind of hybrid between this and one that completely sets, because when I wear a liquid lipstick, I need to know that line is going to stay a sharp line, and I don't really want to worry about smudging. So I wasn't quite as sold on that concept, but I know people will be. Just at a glance, I feel like this looks a little bit drier. My lips aren't particularly great right now. They are a little bit dry, but you know, I don't want to be the perfect test subject. It definitely is settling a little bit more on this, and this looks slightly more flattering on the drier areas. But that's my first impressions on applying. We will see what it looks like in a few hours. So I filmed a couple of videos, it's been about an hour, and I thought I would just check in because this is totally set to whatever it will set to now. And I don't know if you're gonna be able to tell, but I definitely feel like, just looking at it, that looks dry. That looks more like it's settling. The finish is slightly more satin or shiny on the Chanel, but it definitely looks dry. I thought I would try a transfer test, so you can definitely get something off that. And the same with the Bourjois. So neither of these are transfer or smudge proof. They are not 100% set, but right now they're still neither of them feel 100% comfortable. I feel them. So I intended to come back to you after about 4 or 5 hours, and just stuff got in the way, and it's been 7. And at this point, I am absolutely desperate to take this stuff off my lips. They are so dry, really, really uncomfortably dry. And if you were wondering if anyone noticed or mentioned that I was wearing 2 different lip colours, no, they didn't. And I think to look in the mirror right now, it's really quite obvious. Oh gosh, it feels horrible. Now, what I imagined, my experience with these two products separately made me come to a conclusion before I did this, and I really didn't want that to influence this day test, and I'm glad that I didn't, because I would have come away with a completely different review. I wasn't even going to do the wear and compare. I was just going to compare the two and let you know what I thought of them. I was going to say that the Bourjois one was head and shoulders above the Chanel, and that I really, really liked this one. It was more comfortable over time. It lasted and wore away nicer than the Chanel, and the Chanel was really, really, really not that great. I tried this a couple of times last week for a full work day and couldn't believe how horribly it wore away. And I mean, a work day is a really, really good test of something like this because you're more aware of things. You're like licking your lips, you're drinking thousands of cups of tea. It's not like a normal day. Sometimes when you're at home or when you're busy out and doing things, you can be a bit easier on your makeup products. Whereas a day at a desk is always a really hard test for it. So that might be part of the reason. But it's definitely not something that I would put on at 8 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock in the morning and imagine would still be there and still looking pretty good at the end of my work day. This is something that I would possibly put on and then take off completely and reapply it at lunchtime. It's not a terrible product. It is quite nice, but it is uncomfortable and it is around £25, considerably more than the Bourjois one, and I feel that they have worn in exactly the same way. I am definitely guilty of being harder on higher end and more expensive products, and that's probably something that's happening here, in that I'm looking at this and thinking, this was £25. This I expected to be the world's most amazing liquid lipstick. I'd only heard good things and I just was so disappointed. Whereas with the Bourjois, it's so much cheaper that you think you kind of give it an easier time. So really pitting them against each other, they are very, very similar. They've worn away very, very similarly. I mean, they are both so dry. I can feel really rough, flaky edges. It's horrible. So neither are better than the other, but one is considerably cheaper, and that would be my final thoughts. Yeah, these are nice. They've got really nice kind of luxury packaging, frosted, and as a gift, okay, and maybe they've got a special colour that you want. But honestly, I wouldn't rush out and buy another one of these. I would still buy these. There's been lots of them that I've bought in the past and really liked, and I've really gotten along with them. Maybe with a lip liner, both of them would wear a little bit nicer. But I'm really glad that you asked me to compare the two, because I would never have thought to, and it's been really, really interesting, given that I was desperate to try the Chanel one because of all good reviews, and now I feel like I kind of wasted my money. I was kind of tempted to go out and buy a different colour of the Chanel one, you know, because sometimes as you go across a brand, especially a specific range like that, it can be a little bit inconsistent. I thought, I wonder if some of the things from that range are amazing and some aren't so much, but I just thought £25, I don't want to go and waste that money. If I know I'm not going to like the product or there's a potential, then I'm not going to like the product, so I didn't. And so I am just testing one colour against one colour. You let me know if you've tried the different Chanels and you think that there is inconsistencies and some are better than others, but the Luxuriant that I tried, I didn't find to be better than the Bourjois equivalent. I didn't really love it at all. So yeah, a bit of a disappointment. And I do think that lip ink kind of suggests it might leave a bit of a stain as well. I don't know, just overall not quite what I was expecting. But I hope this has been useful for some of you maybe thinking about buying the Chanel with it being new and really, really hyped up at the moment. I'm not saying don't buy it, I'm just saying be aware. I don't think that it's kind of this wow star product that's worth the extra money. But you know, the packaging is nice and it does feel a little bit more luxury. But if you're just into liquid lipsticks, there are other ones that you can try. In fact, I will leave below my wear and compare of the liquid lipsticks that I did try in the summertime. I tried, I think, 5 or 6 different drugstore ones. So I'll leave that below if you guys would be interested in seeing that. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!